If you're just joining me, I'm Nestor, I'm 19 years old, and in just over a month's time, I'm supposed to be setting off to sail around Britain, but I'm currently swamped in projects. So this week, I'm hoping to get through some of the more difficult ones, and I've also got a rigger coming down to take a look at that suspected crack. I hope you enjoy the episode. Now last week I actually got quite a few of these bits of boat work ticked off. It was actually a really productive week. This week is not going to be so easy. I've got a whole load more boxes. A lot of them are a bit more complicated than the things I did last week. Today we're going to start off just by looking at the engine, so we're going to come onto these ones a bit later. So what I have here is a new alternator for the engine. This is a beast. As I'm going around Britain, the engine's going to be my primary source of charging. It's effectively a generator. And I've currently just got a 40 amp alternator on there, which is pretty small for a marine diesel engine. So to make the charging more efficient, I'm going to increase to this, which is a 75 amp alternator. And that's basically going to reduce the amount of time I've got to run the engine to get the batteries charged, which is going to be nice. More time actually enjoying the sailing than just having that engine constantly running. And the other benefit of this is it's sort of two birds and one stone. For this trip, it's a good idea to have a spare alternator. So by replacing the existing one, I'm basically freeing up a spare. So big thank you to everyone that contributed to the safety fund, as a spare alternator was one of those things on the list. So we're going to be installing this today, as well as servicing the engine. I've got an upgrade kit here as well to help with this. So I'm going to begin just by taking off the existing alternator. So yeah, I've got the old alternator off, and just to compare it to the new one, you can see this one is a lot bigger. It's a lot heavier as well. Now, one of the things which is a bit funky is, as you would have seen on the old one, there's this kind of connector at the back. It went in here, there's sort of 3 pins, and then the other cable was this bolt here. On this, that connector doesn't exist. You've got your B+, your B-, your L, and W there. And I'm assuming those 3 pins are, well, I'm sure that they are some of them. So I've got to go have a look at the manuals, work out which cable is which, and then probably going to make up some sort of terminals to connect it to this. I spent some time looking at this schematic. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, now I know what's going on. Basically, remove this connector, and then I've got to crimp on some connectors, some new terminals for the end to go onto here. Just before I install the new alternator, while I've got the old one off and I've got space here, I'm going to get the tube stack out to give that a good clean. This is by far the worst job on the boat. Whoever put the exhaust elbow there is not my friend. You can't see what you're doing. The Allen key only turns like 1/8 each time. It's a real pain. And the stuff that you see leaking there is just coolant, so we'd expect that. So for those of you that maybe aren't sailors, basically your raw water, so your cooling water from the sea, passes through here, and all around here is your coolant, which obviously then gets cooled by this, and then that then passes through the engine. I'm going to put some red lime through this, clear it up properly. So while that is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and replace the impeller. So that's done a really good job of clearing up all this stuff. I mean, it's all super nice now. Now I'm going to dry it up because I don't really want to be touching acid, obviously. And then, yeah, it's good to reinstall. So this yellow and brown one here is L, this bottom one, blue one, is W, and this brown one on the schematics is LG, but there's no LG on this new alternator, so we don't need that one actually. So I'm going to chop these off and make some new terminals. And I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on the thread at the back. Today is quite a big day because I've got Andy Gordon and his son Max, the rigger, down on the boat, and they're doing a full check, and in particular the sort of potential crack in the mast, which we had a look at in the last episode.
You see where that is there?
Yeah.
Because that's quite a big radius on there, you've got that small pin going through there, and it sort of loads, and eventually it'll wear that down. So when you can, it's better to get the bigger shackle you can get in there, or a bigger swivel.
It might be better to move it over one as well.
And if you can't get it over sort of 2 or whatever, I would put some spacers in there just to keep it central.
Andy was just explaining that this inner stay here was on 4% and this one's on 30. So we're going to sort that out.
Put some of this stuff on, and then I'll put it in the start position.
So this here is like special rig oil.
Yeah, it's rig and screw oil.
Yeah.
And you can see it's not quite greased, but it's pretty thick.
Yeah.
I'm at the start position now, Max. On the close.
I'll go to 1 then. I've gone to 1.
Yeah.
2.
Max was now heading up to take a look at this crack, and this would be kind of make or break for the whole project, so you can imagine how nervous I was.
If you make me off there,
I'm so nervous. Yeah.
no, I don't think it's a crack.
Oh. That is such good.
All of this, so that was full of stuff, and I can scrape it off. You can see where I scraped it off with my knife.
Well, that went about as well as it could have done. No crack in the mast, just what a huge relief, because I mean, whether I would have even been able to do the trip if there was a crack in the mast, I honestly don't know, because I wouldn't have the money to change that all. They did say, however, that they noticed a sticker on the mast which showed who had done the rigging before, so that was back in 2016 now. And there's a guy called Pav, who's apparently sort of in court because he scammed a bunch of people with his rigging, and he did all these dodgy things. They told me a story of when he said he replaced someone's rigging, but he just took the old rigging and polished it and put it back. And they said that the inner shrouds, so the lowers, were different lengths, and I think also the cap shrouds as well, which just made it hard for them to adjust it, but they've got it as good as they can. If you are interested, this guy's had a much worse experience with Pav. I'll put a link to his video in the description. So an absolutely massive thank you to Andy and Max Really appreciate them, and if you are looking to get your rigging done, then their links will be in the description. Now that all the rigging's been adjusted properly, I'm going to use the seizing wire to just stop the turnbuckles from turning. As I can't quite remember where we got to yesterday, but I've got the new alternator installed with all the cables in the right place. I got to change the pulley on it so that it fits with the new belt. And then, yeah, I reassembled the tube stack after cleaning that out, and now I'm going to change the fuel filter. And then tomorrow when Jez comes back, he's going to bring a special tool. I mean, actually it's not that special, but to get the pulley off and change that out. My final job of today involves going down there. I'm gonna change out the gearbox oil. It's fair to say I've been more comfortable. I think that's enough engine stuff for now. I want to go on to bilge pumps. So currently on the boat, there's just one singular manual bilge pump. So in addition to that, I'll have this automatic bilge pump. This has got a manual float inside of it. I just quite like the idea of having a physical float. What's also nice about this one is it's got this special impeller, which means that it effectively can't really get an airlock and it won't burn itself out. Also, once it's mounted, if you need to service it or anything, you can just take the whole pump off, leave this mounted down there. So this pump is rated for 1,200 gallons per hour. We're going to get a little bit less than that because the hose is going to go up a little bit. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to be installing today. I'm going to put it down under the engine. What's nice about this boat, well, I don't know if it's nice actually, is she's a bilge keel, which basically means there's no sort of deep bilge. It's nice in that you're not going to lose something all the way down there, but I suppose there's also not much room for water before you start flooding important things. So it's very important to have a good bilge pump. So that's the bilge pump mostly installed. I've not wired it up yet because I'm going to lithium, and you want to wire it directly to your battery, so that if you do have your power off or you have a problem elsewhere, the bilge pump won't be affected because it runs straight off the battery. One of the things which I did have to consider is the distance from here to the sump. It is very close. It's not ideal, but it's as far away as I could get it. I did run the engine and put it down there before as a test to see how it was with the vibration, and it's fine. Now the other thing is obviously the heat from down here right next to the sump. I'm going to get some aluminium foil, stick that on, and that will at least do something. And then yeah, I've got my big hose which definitely needs to be trimmed down, and I'll drill that rear hole probably on Tuesday because I've got a gas guy coming and he's got to do a hole in the transom as well. So that's as much as I can do on the bilge pump for now. Alright, so I've got Jez down on the boat, and this is our first try of trying to get the alternator off, isn't it?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not looking.
No.
No, no, no.
Still no.
No. Right. Yeah, see, it's still slipping.
Jesus.
Okay. Right. So after our 4th try of getting this bloody alternator off, or the pulley off, still not worked. So now we're going to teach it a real lesson, taking it to a workshop of some guy that Jez knows, and then yeah, it'll surely lose. Just look at that. What a sight. Finally got the pulley off. I can put the new one on. Now I'm just going to quickly reinstall this. So this is the old boat and here's the new one. Just before I go ahead and install this permanently, I've got to get the alignment right, as even if it's just out of alignment by just a few millimeters, it will cause excess wear on the belt and it won't charge as efficiently, and there'll be some noise. So I've got a bunch of these shims to help with the alignment. So the way I'm getting this aligned is I've got this, which is effectively just a flat surface, and I've got this tied up against the back of this pulley, and then that will show me where it needs to go. And I don't think that this needs any shims at all. I think it's aligned as it is. Now the only thing left to do is to try start it. I'm actually so nervous because it's not difficult to burn out an alternator. Something doesn't sound good. So it was charging, but something did not sound quite right. That sounds much better. Alright, there we go, it is working. Basically it wasn't starting before because it had a bit of an airlock, which is my fault for not refilling the fuel filter, but that was no problem. And it's charging. I'm going to let it run for a bit, increase the revs, and just keep looking around for any leaks. Okay, so that was weird. Two things there. One, there's a leak at the back, which we suspected. When Jez came around, he pointed out that some of my engine mounts were quite rusty. But that's a new problem, the stop button not working. I mean, that was literally just working 2 seconds ago. So the leak is from the anode that I replaced, so this here. Which is a bit odd. I think it's an odd place to have a leak, but I mean it's quite good in that that's a simple fix. Probably either I need to tighten it more, though I seem to remember that I got it pretty tight, but probably I will just put an O-ring on it or something, and that should solve it. And then yeah, it not being able to stop when I press stop, that's an odd one, but yeah, that might be a loose connection or something, but it just seems odd that it's just kind of cropped up out of nowhere, because it was literally working, I mean, 5 minutes ago. Anyways, the new alternator works. That's the main thing. It's a nice sunny day here down in Weymouth for the first time in a long time, and I'm going to splice up a snubber for the anchor. A snubber is simply a line that goes from your anchor chain to your boat. It's usually made of an elastic material like nylon, which is what I'm using now, and the idea is that it absorbs some of the energy when the boat is bouncing around the waves, so less energy is going into your fittings and things, which can cause damage. It also creates a slightly more comfortable motion when at anchor. Right, so I present to you the ugliest splice in the world. I don't quite know what happened. It just started unwinding itself and then it became ugly. But I guess it's my first time doing it, so it was never going to be perfect. But if there are any master splicers out there, please let me know whether this is actually safe. If not, then I'll do it again. I did have it on the winch under tension and nothing seemed to shift. Anyways, I'm going to finish the rest of the snubber tomorrow. I'd like to give a really big thank you to Andy and Max, who sorted my rigging out for me, to Tom for helping to get the alternator pulley off, and a really big thank you to Jez, who's done a lot behind the scenes of this video. Thank you again to everyone that contributed to the safety fund. We are solely there now, and as always, a huge thank you to my Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal supporters.